Hi, Phil again, and it's story time again, Napoleon Hill style. This is one of his more famous stories. It's more well known. The name of the story is actually 3 Feet from Gold, and it's in the first chapter of Hill's Think and Grow Rich, which is called The Power of Thought. The story itself revolves around a character by the name of R.U. Darby, and Darby was actually an associate of Hill's later on in life. But when he was young, Darby assisted his uncle in Colorado, who had discovered a vein of gold ore. So they returned to the East Coast, Maryland to be precise, borrowed money from family and relatives and friends to get the mining equipment that they needed, and then returned to the location in Colorado and began to dig for the gold. They actually wound up getting several carloads, railroad carloads of the gold, and they were convinced, wow, they've got one of the largest and most famous gold discoveries in history, which seemed to be the case. But then all of a sudden the gold dried up, and they drilled and drilled and drilled and just had no luck at all. So they finally just stopped and took their equipment and gave it and sold it to a junk man, and then returned east. The junk man, however, had a different idea. So what he did was he hired a consultant, actually more of an engineer, who went out to the plot where Darby and his uncle were digging. And he discovered that whereas Darby and his uncle had discovered a vein of gold, that in fact they didn't appreciate the fact that there were fault lines. So he estimated that the Darbys had stopped digging 3 feet short of the gold. So he then went and dug down himself, and yes, that's exactly what happened. They had stopped about 3 feet from gold, and the junk man and the engineer shared an incredibly wealthy fortune together, amassing millions of dollars in gold. So this is another great story of Hill's, and it has to do with quitting just 3 feet from gold. In other words, that so many people quit just before they've achieved success. Darby later recovered. He became an insurance salesman, and Hill quipped that Darby owed his stickability to the quitability that he had learned in the gold lesson. But Hill concludes the story with these words, and I think it's really a great description. Before success comes to most people, they are sure to meet with much temporary defeat and perhaps some failure. When faced with defeat, the easiest and most logical thing to do is to quit. That is exactly what the majority of people do. More than 500 of the most successful people America has ever known told the author their greatest success came just one step beyond the point at which defeat had overtaken them. Failure is a trickster with a keen sense of irony and cunning. It takes great delight in tripping one up when success is almost within reach. So there you have it. What a great story. So if you would like to join me, join hands with me and my prosperity team in our endeavor to achieve freedom, you can do so by clicking on the link below. And I would also invite you to participate in the daily Think and Grow Rich mindset call. The information again on the call is below. This is a daily call in which over 400 entrepreneurs worldwide actually participate in studying the philosophy of Napoleon Hill in Think and Grow Rich, as well as masterminding on the call itself. So it's really a great way to start the day. So speaking of great days, you have one, and see you next time. Take care.